The story begins on a chilling execution ground, where a man is about to be put to death before a massive crowd. But this isn't just any man, he is Lord Twin von Mars, ruler of the very land in which this tragedy unfolds. What's even more shocking is that the executioner standing before him is none other than his own son. The young man grips a knife tightly, his face drained of life, his eyes empty, and his soul seemingly crushed. This young man is the true protagonist of our tale, Twin von Mars's own heir. Confusion and horror sweep across the crowd. How could this happen? A woman whispers softly, "What crime has our lord committed?" But before she can say more, a man beside her quickly warns, "Be quiet, or you may be next." He then points toward the gallows and mutters, "You haven't seen anything yet." These people are ruthless. It becomes clear that this execution is no fair judgment, it is a political conspiracy. Above, crows circle ominously in the sky as a grim voiceover cuts in. War and destruction have already reduced the eastern continent to ashes. And now, that same fire has consumed the Marbus family. In this world, the powerful do whatever they wish, while the weak are left with only two choices: fight desperately for survival or quietly wait for death. Thus, the continent has become a living hell. And in this hell emerges Count Alan T. Sylvester, the Marbus family's old enemy and the mastermind behind this execution. With a cruel smirk, he announces, "Let the execution begin." The crowd stirs nervously, whispering among themselves. The young heir, Lan, stands frozen, as though the earth itself has trapped him in place. Sylvester snaps in anger, "What is this nonsense? Did you not hear my command?" But Lan remains still, trembling with hesitation. With a mocking laugh, the Count taunts him, "What are you waiting for, boy? Cut the rope." Time itself seems to stop. Lan's hands shake violently, but finally, he obeys. The rope is cut. A deafening silence engulfs the crowd. Then comes the brutal sound, the execution is complete. Blood sprays, and Sylvester leaps to his feet in delight. The voiceover continues. The sound of death is no different from the butcher's cleaver striking meat. Crimson splatters across Lan's face. He says nothing, but tears stream down his cheeks. He looks down at his trembling hands, hands now drenched in his father's blood. His reflection stares back at him from the blood-soaked ground, lifeless and broken. Moments later, his father's severed head rolls to a stop before him. Lan whispers to himself, "I am Lin Vern Marbus, son of the late Twin von Marbus, and the son who killed his own father." The narration explains that in this world, the word patriarch does not merely mean the head of a noble house. A patriarch is a leader of an entire people. And as one playwright once said, the head that wears the crown can never truly rest in peace. Such power should belong only to one strong enough to bear its weight. From that moment on, Lin Vern Marbus officially becomes the new patriarch of House Marbus. At his very first council meeting, the discussion quickly turns grim. One advisor warns, Sylvester is expanding his territory. It is only a matter of time before he strikes directly at us. Another voice adds, "My lord, we must strengthen our defenses immediately." Even a young, yellow-haired man urges, "Lord Patriarch, please, you must make a decision at once." And then, a white-haired elder slowly speaks. The council chamber falls into uneasy silence. One elder leans forward and insists, "You are absolutely right, my lord. The time has come for you to give us a decisive answer." Hearing this, Lan rises slowly from his seat. His young voice trembles, but he speaks firmly, "Enough. I ask you all to be patient just a little longer. I need more time to think." The yellow-haired advisor quickly protests, "But my lord, this is an urgent matter." Yet, Lan offers no reply. Instead, he turns and walks out of the chamber. His silence leaves the hall in shock. For a house as powerful as Marbus, such hesitation is a troubling omen. As Lan walks down the corridors, his inner thoughts echo. "I took over the seat of patriarch only because of my father's death, Lord Twin von Marbus. But I am only 14 years old, just a child. House Marbus was once known for powerful necromancers. But that glory now exists only in history books. And in the end, it was I who cut my father's rope. His footsteps slow as he reaches a wall lined with portraits of his parents. Staring at them, he whispers, "Mother. Father, what would you have done if you were in my place? How can I protect this house? I need someone, anyone, to guide me." Lan continues walking until he stops before a large portrait of his ancestor, the legendary villain Vern Marbus, the founder of House Marbus and once a fearsome necromancer. He recalls, "Our house began with Velan, who carved his name on the battlefield. But after that golden age, no true necromancer was ever born in our bloodline again. That weakness slowly dragged us toward decline, until now, when I was forced to kill my own father." Lan enters the founder's chamber, where ancient tomes rest upon a heavy wooden table. He carefully picks one up and murmurs, "The history of our clan. The chronicles of our lineage." Within its pages lies the tale of Velan, a man whose enemies vanished with just a wave of his hand. Like a storm, he crushed the eastern regions in only 2 months. His power came from a dark pact with the devil Marbus, through which he obtained the Necronomicon, a forbidden book that granted control over the dead, making him the first and only true necromancer of the continent. Looking at the tome, Lan whispers, this is our true legacy. The Necronomicon. The very gift that once made House Marbus the only necromancer clan of the continent. But as he lays his hands on the book, a mysterious voice suddenly resonates inside his mind. "Hear me, young patriarch." Lan freezes in place, his eyes widening. How? How can this voice reach me here? This room lies within an anti-magic field. He speaks cautiously, "Who are you?" The voice replies with calm authority, "Do not be afraid, my child. I will not harm you, nor your family." Lan frowns, skeptical. "And why should I believe you?" Suddenly, a glowing magic circle appears beneath his feet. Brilliant light erupts, and in an instant, Lan is pulled into another dimension. There, a towering demonic black lion awaits him. A radiant saber gleams from its forehead, and its massive, twisted horns glimmer ominously. Lan stares in shock. What is this place?" The black lion tilts its head, almost confused. "Did your ancestor never tell you of my existence?" Lan swallows hard. "Ancestor? Are you speaking of my father, Twin von Marbus?" The beast pauses, then answers with a low growl, "Yes. Twin. That was his name. I can sense it now, our magic contract has been broken. I should have known. That man was far too kind-hearted for a house born of darkness." Its tone suddenly shifts, filled with fury. "Tell me then, boy, who killed him?" Lan clenches his fists, his voice trembling but firm. "If you mean the man who took my father's life, then that man was me." The black lion freezes as the truth sinks in. This creature is none other than Marvus himself, the ancient demon bound to the Marbus bloodline. His voice thunders across the void. "I will ask you only once, boy. Did you kill my contractor?" Lan, unwavering, stares back at him. "Yes, it was me. I killed my father." The air trembles with tension. Hearing his words, Marvus erupts in fury. With a deafening roar, the black lion unleashes a blast of dark energy, not a simple attack, but a probing strike meant to peer deep into Lan's soul. Lan is thrown into visions of his past. His trembling hands clutching the knife, the rope cut, his father's lifeless body collapsing before the crowd. Blood soaking his hands. The unbearable memory of killing his own father replays again and again. But instead of striking him down, Marvus's anger slowly cools. He mutters, "I see now, your will was stolen from you. The hands that cut the rope were yours, yes, but that does not mean the choice was." Lan, choking on emotion, shakes his head. "No, that's not true. You know as well as I do, this blood is on my hands." Hearing this, Marvus studies him carefully. A thought stirs within the ancient beast. His heart is consumed by pain, but there is something far more dangerous inside him, this aura, this abyssal magic. Such power should not exist in a child. Could it be, this boy might even surpass his ancestors? Marvus exhales deeply and finally speaks, very well. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Marvus, one of the 72 demons of Marbus Hell. Long ago, I chose to leave the abyssal world to live among humans. I was the lifelong companion of your founder, Velan Vern Marbus. It was through me that the art of necromancy was born. Lan's eyes widen in recognition. I've heard stories about you. When our ancestor founded House Marbus, it was you who taught him the forbidden art. The Black Lion nods. Yes. I am the same. Now bound to the Necronomicon, but once I was a great demon, feared by all. Lan lowers his gaze, conflicted. Our founder always said necromancy flows in our blood. But if that's true, why has no one since his time inherited such power? Why did you abandon us? Marvus narrows his eyes. Abandon you? No, you misunderstand. None of your bloodline ever had the strength to wield my gift. After Velan, your clan lacked the spirit to become the vessel I required. Lan stiffens. A vessel? Marvus growls, yes. A universal vessel. None of you could ever rise to Velan's level. Your decline began long ago. Lan falls silent, then finally admits, perhaps you're right. Our downfall is already upon us. Marvus smirks faintly. You accepted the truth far too quickly. Lan's eyes harden. Of course. The defeat of the weak in war is nothing but a universal law. The Black Lion studies him closely. Then, with a more personal tone, he asks, tell me, boy, did you accept your father's death with this same reasoning? Lan replies coldly, what difference does it make? There was nothing remarkable about his death. Marvus tilts his head, intrigued. But, what? Lan exhales sharply and says, if you have not completely broken your ties with House Marbus, then I have a request. No, not a request, a demand. The demon growls, a favor? No. Do not confuse me with humans. Favors are built on mercy, and demons have no mercy. If you want something, then we strike a deal. Without hesitation, Lan declares, fine. Then let's make a deal. Grant me the power of necromancy. Marvus's eyes burn with fire. His massive claws dig into the ground as he rumbles, the question, boy, is not whether I can give you the power, but whether you are capable of surviving it. The Black Lion narrows his fiery eyes, pride swelling in his voice. A small boy like you dares question my strength? Do you truly think you deserve this power? Lan doesn't flinch. Instead, he answers firmly. If I were just an ordinary human, I wouldn't even have the chance to stand before a great demon like you. It is said that ordinary people lose all their mana just by speaking to a demon. They hallucinate, their minds shatter, and when the demon is finished, they die. But look at me, I'm still standing. That alone proves there is something inside me that makes me strong. Marvus studies him silently, and though he doesn't show it, he accepts inwardly, this boy, he is not talentless. He has courage. Lan continues with determination. As I said, any request made to a demon is not a request, it is a pact. But I doubt I have anything worthy to give you in return. The Black Lion suddenly bursts into loud, thunderous laughter. Excellent. Very well then, young lord. We will make a pact. Lan stares straight into his glowing eyes and asks coldly. Tell me then, my lord, what will be the price? The demon's voice rumbles like thunder. Every aspect of your existence. Lan's lips curl into a faint, devilish smile. Perfect. Because I will gladly give every part of my little life to you. And with that chilling oath. The scene shifts back to the council hall. Lan's first patriarch meeting has just ended, and as he leaves, the remaining members quickly huddle together in an intense debate. The tension is thick, visible on every face. At the head of the table sits the white-haired elder, Sir Carl, Lan's uncle. He clears his throat and begins. Gentlemen, I believe you all understand the situation. I am, of course, speaking of our current patriarch, Lord Lan von Marbus. He does not yet have the authority or maturity to make critical decisions. Decisions that could determine the fate of our entire house. Do you agree? He pauses, then presses on. Therefore, as his uncle and closest relative, I propose to take leadership temporarily. Until our house stabilizes. One council member immediately agrees. Absolutely. Leon has not even reached proper adulthood. We cannot entrust such vital matters to an inexperienced boy. For now, Sir Carl is our best option. But another member slams his hand on the table and objects. I disagree. Yes, Leon is inexperienced. But he is the direct heir of our late patriarch. The tradition of House Marbus has never allowed breaking the bloodline. No matter the crisis, the leadership has always remained with the true descendant. The first man scowls, his tone sharp with anger. Lineage only matters as long as the lineage can survive. You all know the Sylvester army is already marching against us. If we don't act now, we will be destroyed. Blindly supporting Leon means walking into our own graves. I choose survival, for my people, and for myself. The opposing councillor slams the table harder, his voice echoing across the hall. You are crossing the line. Have you forgotten? We sit here today because of our late lord, and we swore to fight for House Marbus until our last breath. And now you squabble like jackals while the enemy closes in. This is the time to unite, not tear each other apart. Lan has yet to form his own faction. But I cannot stand by and watch men like Carl steal his rightful position. Lan is the true heir. How can anyone take that from him? He lowers his eyes, whispering a silent prayer to the late Lord Twin. Tell me, does loyalty still hold any meaning, when even our own blood is tearing this house apart? And at that moment, Sir Carl. The council chamber grows tense as Sir Carchel rises from his seat. With a cold smile, he declares, "It seems our new patriarch still has a few loyalists left." At once, a man snaps back, "Sir, don't play games. Speak plainly, what exactly are you trying to say?" Carchel's grin widens. Pullen, my old friend, no matter how loyal you are, you lack the foresight to realize that everything has already been decided. Take this as friendly advice. Here, the man's name is revealed, Pullen. Carchel steps forward, his energy pressing down like a crushing weight on Pullen's shoulders. His tone hardens. Did you really think I gathered you all here because I cared about your opinions? Pullen's eyes flare with anger. So this was your plan all along, Carchel? Carchel's expression turns deadly serious. Choose your words carefully, Pullen. For the sake of our family. We are gathered here for one purpose only, to decide the future of House Marbus. In such times, wisdom and sacrifice matter far more than loyalty or emotion. Don't stand in our way. Just let us do what must be done. Pullen lowers his head, bitterness in his heart. So I was nothing but a pawn in Carchel's game? Lord Twin, forgive me. I could not protect your legacy. The scene fades. We shift to Lan and his demonic companion, the Black Lion, Marvus. Marvus growls, everything is fine, except for one thing. Because of this new pact, my true power is now limited. He thinks to himself, no matter how gentle Twin appeared, his mana reserves were far greater than his son's. Even as a contractor, the father far outshined the boy. Lan frowns. When a demon makes a pact with a human, it has to draw mana from its contractor to recharge its power. If that's the case, then what should I do? Marvus answers calmly, for now, nothing. We must conserve your mana. Then, with a burst of dark energy, the towering lion shrinks into the form of a small, chubby, black cub with glowing eyes. This form will be easier to maintain, Marvus mutters. Lan bursts into laughter. I'm right, aren't I? You look absolutely adorable, like a pet. Marvus's aura flares dangerously. Adorable? Call me that again, contractor, and I'll rip your face off and mount it on the wall. Lan quickly raises his hands. All right, all right. I won't say it again. Good. Marva smirks. Now that we're on the same page, let's hang out. Lan blinks in confusion. Hang out? What do you mean? Marvus replies slyly, you said you wanted to surpass your progenitor, didn't you? Here, it's important to note, progenitor refers to Wieland von Marbus, the legendary founder and greatest prodigy of the family. Lan nods. Yes, I did say that. Marvus chuckles. Then what better way to follow him than literally retracing his footsteps? Step by step. Lan's expression sharpens. That makes sense. Good. Then our destination is Haden Sareen. The little lion's tone suddenly darkens. But be warned, this journey could cost you your life. Are you prepared? Lan clenches his fists. Why do you keep doubting my resolve? Marvus's eyes gleam. Not doubt, boy. Confirmation. I needed to see if you are truly ready. Very well, let's go, young patriarch. The scene shifts to a vast, dense forest shrouded in mist. Towering trees blot out the sun. Strange sounds echo in the shadows. Lan and Marvus tread cautiously beneath the dark canopy. Lan looks around uneasily. This forest, it feels strange. Where are we? Marvus's voice rumbles in his smaller form. This is Musdywood, the ancient land tied to House Marbus. Marvus explains the truth behind the House of Marbus. This forest is Musdywood. Only those who carry the blood of House Marbus can walk here unharmed. For all others, it becomes a maze of illusions, trapping them until they vanish forever. Lan nods slowly. Yes. Father once told me that only the rightful patriarch could step inside the secret shrine. But something doesn't make sense. If this place was meant to grant our ancestors the power of necromancy, why did none of them ever complete the trial? Marvus lowers his voice. Because none of them passed the very first test. They failed the basic requirement. Lan looks puzzled. And what requirement was that? Marvus's eyes glow faintly. Only those who carry the purest shade of black, the essence of absence itself, can pierce this fog and clear the path to Israin. Until now, no one has satisfied that condition. Lan stares at the swirling, glowing mist. I see, it's clear now. Marvus raises his clawed hand, sweeping away the suffocating fog. The path reveals itself, a dark, ancient entrance glowing faintly with energy. Contractor, Marvus says gravely, this is where I can no longer help you. From here on, you are alone. Lan smirks. You told me yourself, this trial is about courage. That's all I need. Marvus pauses, then gives his final advice, very well, but remember this. Always follow the words of the Necromancer. Only it can lead you to the true reward, the real power of necromancy. Trust its voice, for only it will show you the path. With a devilish smile, the demon fades into the shadows. Lan steps deeper into the shrine. Suddenly, a sound echoes in the darkness. He follows it carefully, until... Whoosh! Torches ignite one by one, filling the chamber with a sickly green light. Before him, an unsettling scene unfolds. A group of goblin monsters have captured a young girl, binding her tightly with ropes. Lan opens the ancient book, the Necromancer. Words appear on its pages like fire. These are the tenets of the divine relic Necromancer. Rule 1, to unlock true potential, the dead must rise. To awaken the path, one must first kill. The goblins snarl, weapons raised. Lan snaps the book shut, drawing a gleaming blade. One goblin charges at him. But with a fluid motion, Lan sidesteps, and with a single flawless counter slash. Slash! The goblin falls. Lan's expression hardens, his voice cold and confident. That makes one. An old, overgrown cemetery. The moon hangs heavy, casting pale light across the gravestones. Lan stands beside his father, Twin von Marbus, in front of a solemn grave. Twin speaks quietly. Lan, listen carefully. Do you know what we value most in the great house of Marbus? The answer is simple: we honor death. For we are a clan of necromancers, wielders of the dead. But do not mistake this power for carelessness. As great as this gift is, so too is the responsibility. Lan remained silent, before finally asking in confusion, "But father, what does it mean to respect death? I've read that to grow stronger as a dark mage, one must kill others. Isn't that true?" Twin's eyes narrow, though a faint smile touches his lips. "You have studied our family's history well. Yes, we are dark mags, feared across the continent. But that does not mean we are monsters without reason. That is why you must make me a promise." He places a hand on Lan's shoulder. "No matter how many enemies you face in the battlefield, never forget, every death has meaning. And you must never kill without reason. Swear this to me, my son." The lesson from the past echoes like a ghostly whisper. Twin von Marbus's voice lingers in Lan's mind. "Face it, my son. As long as you have the power to decide life or death, promise me this. If you must kill, then let their end be as peaceful as possible. Spare them unnecessary pain." The flashback fades. Lan grips his blade in the present, his breath steady but eyes burning. "Father, did you mean for me to keep this promise with every enemy? Even with monsters?" Without hesitation, he drives his dagger through a goblin's neck, whispering coldly, "Strike the cervical vertebra, quick and clean. The easiest way to kill without pain." From the shadows, Marvus observes. His thoughts are sharp. Strange, this boy doesn't fight like someone formerly trained in weaponry. Yet his strike was precise, flawless. Was it luck, or something deeper? Some inborn instinct? Lan, however, doubts himself. "I killed one goblin, but it wasn't skill. Just luck. Goblins are cunning by nature, and this cursed darkness clouds my vision. I need to adapt. The torches die with every kill, perhaps this is part of the trial." Another goblin lunges. Lan sidesteps, blade flashing. Slash! Another falls, and another torch goes dark. My eyes are adjusting. Yes, I can see now. But my dagger, he frowns at the chipped edge. It's just a ceremonial blade. Weak. I can't rely on it for long. A goblin charges dangerously close. In desperation, Lan throws his dagger, its edge slices across the monster's face, drawing blood. Marvus narrows his eyes. He threw his weapon? Foolish, or clever? Lan wastes no time. He dives, retrieves his blade mid-roll, and with a brutal thrust pierces the goblin's heart. With one final slash, the creature's body splits apart. The chamber grows silent. Only corpses and the dim glow of torches remain. Lan walks past the fallen goblins and kneels beside the bound girl. He unties the ropes at her mouth. With teary eyes, she gasps, "Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You saved my life. Oh, forever." Her words die in her throat. Because Lan's blade is already buried in her chest. Her face freezes in shock. She cannot comprehend why. Lan withdraws his weapon, his voice cold, almost mocking. "I remembered something else my father taught me. He once told me of monsters that can wear human faces. He warned me never to forget, those who betray trust, never deserve a peaceful death." Lan leans closer, his smile devilish, his tone dripping with cruelty. They should suffer the same fear, the same despair, as their victims. The girl's body collapses lifeless to the ground. At that exact moment, the final torch flickers out. Darkness swallows the chamber whole. The scene shifts to a lively, glamorous bar. Music echoes, lights shimmer, and girls dressed in bright outfits dance on stage. Laughter fills the air. Among the crowd sits none other than Sir Karchel, uncle of House Marvus's young patriarch. Surrounded by two women, he raises a glass with a smug smile. It won't be long now, he boasts. Soon, that cursed house will be in my possession. The girls around him giggle and flatter. The woman in the red dress leans close and says teasingly, "You're absolutely right, my lord. Who wouldn't want a dignified and intelligent leader like you instead of that baby-faced boy?" The girl in the blue dress adds with admiration, "Such brilliance, Sir Karchel. I never imagined you would even use Sylvester for your advantage." And the one in the emerald dress presses even closer, whispering, "Only a real man could outsmart the enemy house and rise above it." Karchel chuckles, clearly enjoying their praise. "Ladies, you flatter me too much. But yes, better to bow temporarily to Sylvester's wicked schemes than to hand power to that child Lan. He'll only lead House Marvus to ruin. No, power belongs in my hands." He throws his head back and laughs, like a villain savoring his own brilliance. The camera shifts to the man who first supported Karchel during the council meeting. He sits across from him now, swirling his drink. "Tell me, Sir Karchel, what do you plan to do about the boy? Many are still loyal to his father. It won't be easy to simply erase him." Karchel smirks, eyes narrowing. "There's no need to complicate matters. His death will be justified in due time. After all, dead men tell no tales, and neither do their sons." The man raises his empty glass. "You're right. The only time the dead ever spoke was when the first patriarch wielded necromancy." Karchel refills his cup, and together they toast. "To our future, and to the rightful patriarch." The group bursts into drunken laughter, celebrating betrayal in plain sight. Meanwhile, the scene cuts to Sylvester House. Count Alan Sylvester studies a map spread across his table. His voice drips with confidence. Everything is going as planned. House Marvus will soon belong to us. A subordinate bows deeply. "Indeed, my lord. Sir Karchel remains firmly under our control. The only step left is securing full approval for war from the imperial household." Alan sneers. "How foolish these Marvus dogs are. They truly believe I won't start another war so soon after the last. But this is the perfect opportunity." The subordinate praises him instantly. "All of this has been possible only because of your brilliance, my lord." Alan's eyes glint with malice as he mutters, "Karchel, to think such a prestigious house will fall because of a traitor as stupid as you. What a glorious night it will be." He slams his hand on the table. "Make preparations immediately. No delays." "Yes, my lord," the subordinate replies. Alan leans back, lips curling into a cruel smile. First the father, and soon, the son. "I can't wait to hear your screams." The scene shifts back to the trial chamber. The last torch had gone out moments earlier after the girl's death, leaving Lan in suffocating darkness. He mutters to himself, "It's pitch black, all the torches have gone out." Was that truly the final trial? Suddenly, whoosh! The extinguished torch bursts back to life, glowing not with green, but with a brilliant yellow flame. It burns steadily, bathing the chamber in a holy light. A sign. Lan has passed the trial. Marvus looks at Lan and laughs heartily. "Ha ha ha! I've never seen such a crazy contractor before." Without warning, he jumps right onto Lan's face, knocking him to the ground. But even then, Marvus smirks and says, "You've got guts, boy. If you keep using that sharp mind of yours, you might just survive even in the orc camp." He pats Lan's cheek, eyes gleaming with approval. "That last monster was hard to recognize in human form, yet you didn't hesitate. You used your sword at the very first moment. Tell me, why did you think the girl was a monster?" Lan answers calmly. "It was simple. Every time a goblin died, one of the torches went out. But even when the others had fallen, one torch was still burning. That meant the girl was no girl at all, she was also a monster." Marvus freezes for a moment, staring at the boy in awe. Cold-blooded, at just 14 years old, he makes such merciless decisions. He kills without hesitation. Is infinite mana truly his only secret? Or is he hiding something far greater? The spirit gives a chilling smile. How exciting! I can't wait to see what else this boy will do in the future. Then he straightens and declares, after Veland's first trial, it's time to move on to the next test. Lan opens the ancient Necromancer's book. His eyes widen as he reads aloud. First, another life must be taken. Second, the fallen must be raised. Lan pauses, confused. Raised? Does that mean? A faint smile creeps across his lips. Lan whispers the word written in the book, undead. Manhwas nods with a grin. Correct. Look at those goblins you killed. He gestures to the battlefield and explains. Channel mana into your eyes. Focus. You'll see it, a black thread linking each corpse to a place beyond. In necromancy, we call this the death line. Lan's eyes glow as he concentrates. Slowly, faint black lines shimmer into view, stretching from each goblin's body into the void. His breath catches. A line that crosses the boundary of death, it connects every soul of this world to the next. Manhwas smirks. Exactly. A necromancer first severs that thread, separating soul from body, then, with mana, he reattaches it. This revives the corpse, turning it into an undead servant under his control. With a snap of his fingers, Manhwas demonstrates. A goblin corpse shudders, then rises. Its eyes glow faintly as it staggers forward. But the moment it sees Lan, it freezes, unable to attack. This technique is called branding, Manhwas explains. There are other methods to create undead, but for monsters, this is the only one that works. We'll discuss the rest later. For now, this is enough. Lan studies carefully, nodding. I understand. Manhwas grins. Good. Then try it yourself. But Lan doesn't move yet. Instead, he looks up and asks. Before I attempt it, tell me something that has been on my mind. My ancestors once said creating a human undead is far more complex than raising a monster. Have I already reached the level where I could turn a person into an undead? Manhwas teases him with a sly grin. Oh? And who is this unlucky soul you want to make undead? Lan's expression hardens. None other than my uncle, Sir Karchel. At that moment, the scene shifts. We're back inside the lively bar, where Karchel and his companions indulge in wine, drugs, and women. The man beside him laughs mockingly. That late patriarch was such a fool. Ever since he died, my life has become so much easier. The camera lingers on Karchel, drunk, smiling, and oblivious to the storm coming his way. Yes. I absolutely agree with you. The man beside him raises his cup. Then all that remains is the issue of the boy or the last heir. Once he's gone, the burden will finally be lifted from your shoulders. Karchel raises his glass, smirking coldly. Killing that boy is no great task. For now, cheers. Let us enjoy ourselves. But before the glasses can even touch. Crash! A chandelier plummets from above, smashing onto the table with a thunderous rumble. The entire hall freezes in terror. Karchel jolts upright, eyes wide. What is happening? One of the girls, dressed in blue, gasps. This place is protected by a powerful magical artifact. It's impossible for the chandelier to fall from just a vibration. This must be a magic attack. But Karchel slams the table and roars, "Silence, girl! Who dares threaten me in Mars territory?" Then, a calm, chilling voice cuts through the air. "Uncle, who gave you the illusion that no one could challenge you here?" From the shadows, Lan Vernmarvs appears. Karchel narrows his eyes, forcing a smirk. Well, look who's here. The young patriarch of our ruined family. His guards step forward, ready to strike, but with a wave of Karchel's hand, they halt. Lan steps forward boldly. "It's a kindness that you recognized me." "Yes, it is I, your patriarch. Lan Vern Marvs. Karchel laughs mockingly. Why come here uninvited at this hour, boy? Did you have some business with me? Lan's expression hardens. A strange question. Tell me, uncle, does a lord need permission to visit his own land? And must he request the comfort of his servants before stepping into his own house? Karchel's face twists. Perhaps not for other lords. But you? You are unworthy of the patriarch's seat. And yes, I will take it from you. Your parents are gone, boy. No one remains to protect you now. Lan replies coldly. You're right. That's why I've learned to protect myself. Karchel smirks, showing his true malice. Did your so-called elder brother never tell you how dangerous it is to come alone? You sound so confident, as if you have more than one life to throw away. But Lan smirks right back. This confidence isn't mine, uncle, it's yours. You assumed I came alone. Karchel stiffens. Stop with your riddles, boy. What nonsense are you spouting? Suddenly, dark energy erupts from beneath the ground. Karchel's eyes widen in horror. This is no ordinary magic. No, this darkness, it's from the abyss. Don't tell me, an undead army. Lan's voice echoes with power. Exactly. The undead army. Karchel stumbles back, panic flooding his face. Impossible. Even my late brother couldn't control such a force. Lan steps forward, eyes blazing. Is it not obvious? House Marvs was born from necromancy. And today, it remains the same. Karchel snaps in fury. Guards! Kill these abominations at once. The guards charge forward. But the first one swings directly at Lan. Before the blade can land, an undead goblin leaps in, blocking the strike. With a single savage slash, it cuts the guard in half. The hall freezes in stunned silence. One by one, the rest of the undead goblins surge forward, tearing through Karchel's guards with terrifying speed. Fear, disbelief, and raw panic spread across Karchel's face. His smugness shatters completely as he realizes the truth. Uncle Karchel stands frozen, his men dying before his eyes. His mind races in shock. This isn't normal. Something is wrong. None of this makes sense. Hands trembling, he grips a dark energy, preparing himself for the battle he never thought he would face. The air grows heavier. The hall falls silent, save for the guttural roars of the undead. The true confrontation between uncle and nephew is about to begin. Uncle Karchel steadies himself, his eyes locked on the scene before him. Dark energy begins to swirl in his palms. If my eyes aren't deceiving me, this boy is controlling necromancy perfectly. But how is this possible? The air trembles as a dark energy sphere grows in Karchel's hand. With a roar, he snarls, "What is this mockery? Are you making fun of the legacy of the founding patriarch?" Lan's expression hardens, his voice cold and calm. Is it really so surprising, uncle? If one Marvs can command 100? It's in our blood. Karchel's face twists with fury. Nonsense. Necromancy is a forgotten art, lost in the darkness of history. Even your father couldn't wield it. And you expect me to believe a useless boy like you has mastered it? Lan smirks. If you find it so hard to believe, then let me show you. Just remember, uncle, this decision may be very costly. With a single gesture, Lan signals his undead army. The goblins surge forward in unison, their hollow roars shaking the hall. Karchel retaliates instantly, hurling the dark energy ball into the mob. The blast explodes, searing through the first wave of undead. Flames scorch their bodies, and for a brief moment, Karchel smiles. But then, the goblins regenerate. Their charred flesh knits back together as if nothing happened. Karchel's face drains of color. He looks to his guards in panic, only to see them already lying dead at the hands of the undead. Breath ragged, he summons energy into both hands, unleashing a devastating blast forward. The explosion shakes the chamber, walls crack, floors tremble. For a moment, silence falls. And then, the goblins rise again. Their wounds already healed. Karchel staggers back in disbelief. How is such advanced healing even possible? Suddenly, one goblin materializes before him, its blade plunging straight into his chest. Karchel gasps, blood filling his throat. Yet even as his strength fades, he desperately tries to form a counterspell. But nothing. The magic fizzles out, collapsing before it can ignite. Rage and agony twist his face as he stumbles, roaring, "How dare you, betray your own bloodline?" Lan steps forward, voice sharp with cold resolve. "Damn it, uncle. I've waited for this day ever since you stabbed my father in the back. And today, I regret only one thing, that I ever had to call you my uncle." Karchel snarls, spitting blood. "Shut your mouth, child." But Lan continues, unshaken. "I remember a book I once read with father, a history of this continent. After every war, only two remain, the victor and the suppressed. And in the end, time draws the sword between them." Karchel sneers. "Now you dare lecture me, boy." Lan's gaze hardens. "That book taught me one truth. Forgiveness is the privilege of the victor. And once, uncle, you were the victor. You gambled everything for survival when you stabbed father in the back. But times have changed." Karchel screams, voice trembling with both rage and fear. "Shut up. Enough of this." Lan steps closer, his tone final. "For the last time, Sir Karchel von Marvs. I will not say goodbye. Instead, I'll make sure you suffer the same pain father did. I'll remember this day, not only as your defeat, but as your punishment. And the punishment is this: I will strip you of the one thing you wanted most, the hope of living another day." His voice thunders like a verdict. "As Patriarch of House Marvs, I sentence you to death." With that, Lan commands his undead. The goblins swarm Karchel, each strike carving into him, every scream echoing louder than the last. Death creeps upon him not with mercy, but with cruelty. And then, a familiar presence emerges. From the shadows, the black lion Marvus steps forward, laughing darkly. "Ha! What a sight! This scene, it could even make the devil himself shed a tear. And to think, you achieved this in your very first trial." The fire of battle still crackles in the air. Karchel's screams fade. The room reeks of blood, death, and victory. But Lan's path as Patriarch has only just begun. The battle had ended. Uncle Karchel was gone. But Lan's path as Patriarch had only just begun. "Someone has used necromancy at this level," Marvus muttered with a smirk. Who could have imagined? Lan tilted his head, pulling a mischievous grin. Did I overdo it?" Then, with a devilish laugh, he whispered, "No, in fact, I've just thought of something very interesting." Marvus raised an eyebrow. "Interesting? Or terrifying?" Before Lan could answer, the scene shifted. Inside the great council chamber, murmurs filled the hall. One member frowned. "Why has the council been called so suddenly? Does anyone know why the head councillor summoned us?" A man with bright yellow hair shrugged. "Who knows? Even I wasn't told. And the Patriarch side has not arrived yet. Let's just wait." The bald elder across from him muttered grimly. Still, an emergency council is no small matter. Could House Investor be scheming again? Maybe planning to shatter the peace treaty while we remain divided. The first councilman waved his hand dismissively. "Don't stress yourself, brother. Breaking the treaty between two great houses isn't so simple. Besides, no war can begin without His Majesty's approval." The yellow-haired man nodded. "You're right. Whatever it is, we'll know soon enough. Let's just wait." The bald man smirked. "Yes, everything will be made clear once Sir Karchel steps in as head of House Marvs." But then, the doors creaked open. Every gaze turned. And it wasn't Karchel who entered. It was Lan Vern Marvs. The young lord walked calmly to his seat, his eyes sharp as blades. "Were you expecting my uncle today?" he asked, his voice echoing across the chamber. "I'm afraid his condition no longer allows him to attend, or anything else." A ripple of confusion spread through the room. One member stammered, "My lord, what do you mean?" Lan did not hesitate. "Sir Karchel von Marvs is no longer in this world." Shock silenced the hall. "Dead," a member gasped. Lan's eyes narrowed. "Yes. And it was by my hand. If you have questions, ask them now. I am ready to answer." The air grew heavy. The meeting of politics had just turned into a trial of power. Lan looked around. Does any member still have something to say? No one had expected the death of Sir Karchel. The weight of his words froze the room. Suddenly, the yellow-haired elder slammed his fist against the table. "If this is true, then you must give a proper explanation for killing the senior elder of House Marvs." Another member rose, anger sharp in his voice. "Even if you are patriarch, you have no right to execute a senior elder without cause." Lan stayed calm. After a pause, he declared, "Karchel was a traitor. He betrayed my father, leaked our secrets to House Sylvester, and sought to usurp my position as patriarch. And yet, what shocks me most is that despite such evidence, you sit here, defending him." The yellow-haired man froze. He remembered, the summons had come under Karchel's seal, yet the man himself never appeared. There was no denying it. Karchel was truly gone. The bald elder thought privately, what a fool, that old man died at the hands of a boy. How pathetic. Another councillor mused silently, now is not the time to mourn Karchel. If young Lord Lan killed him alone, then he must hold some terrifying trump card. A power far beyond our understanding. This one saw clearly what others could not. Breaking the silence, the clear-minded councillor finally said aloud, "My lord. I never doubted you. That traitor broke all our trust. He got what he deserved." The yellow-haired man, however, began to panic, his voice trembling as he prepared to speak. The council chamber, once filled with arguments and schemes, now stood in silence after Lan's shocking declaration. But not for long. One elder protested desperately, "We are innocent. How could we have known the old man was plotting something so dangerous?" Lan's gaze sharpened, his voice like a blade. "Innocent? Perhaps you did not conspire with him directly. But ignorance is no excuse. You are guilty for failing to recognize the traitor in your midst." The clever-minded councillor thought to himself, he has trapped them all with words alone, truly dangerous. The bald elder spoke next, voice trembling, "My lord, the real question is, was Sir Karchel truly a traitor? Or have you killed an innocent man? Do you have proof?" Lan smirked coldly. Exactly the reaction an intelligent man had predicted. "You ask for proof? Very well." At that moment, a faint shadow appeared, Black Lion Marbus, visible only to Lan, whispering on his shoulder. Lan raised the ancient tome of necromancy. The pages fluttered open with a sound like 1,000 whispers. Dark energy poured into the chamber. The air grew heavy. The ground cracked open with black portals, and from them crawled hideous goblins of the undead. The bald man gasped, "This is an incantation." The yellow-haired elder shouted in horror, "An undead summoning spell. But how can he do this?" And then, from the depths of that abyss, Sir Karchel himself appeared, but not as a man. As an undead puppet bound by Lan's will. The intelligent elder whispered in disbelief, He has rediscovered the lost magic of our house." Lan's eyes glowed with authority. "Karchel von Marbus, do you admit to the crimes I have accused you of?" Even as an undead, Karchel's voice was clear. "We betrayed those loyal to the former patriarch. Not one remains. And none here are ignorant of my betrayal." The council froze in terror. The proof stood before them. Lan looked across the chamber. "There. You have your confession." The yellow-haired man fell to his knees, begging. "Mercy, my lord! Please, spare us!" His legs had already been severed by a goblin. Lan's face remained cold. "I am sorry, but this meeting is not yet over. It would be wise to listen to your patriarch until he has finished speaking." Desperation broke the council. The bald man shouted curses at Lan only to have his head sliced clean off by a goblin's blade. Others pleaded, "Give us one more chance, my lord." But mercy never came. The goblin surged forward, cutting through flesh and bone. The Grand Council chamber echoed with screams. Blood soaked the floor. Lan calmly closed his book of necromancy. "I, Lan von Marbus, as patriarch of this house, declare that from this day forward, necromancy shall be reborn within House Marbus." The slaughter was complete. The council lay in silence, nothing but corpses. Only Lan remained standing, calm amid the carnage. "Where is Sir Pullen?" A trembling servant, who had hidden himself throughout the massacre, crawled forward. "My lord?" Sir Pullen was accused of treason. He was locked away in the lower dungeons. Lan's eyes narrowed. "Very well, take me to him." The servant bowed low, still shaking. "Why yes, my lord. I will show you the way." As Lan left the council chamber, his words lingered in the air. "If the rest of you wish to run, then run. But remember, whatever happens next will not be my responsibility. I do this only for your welfare. Choose wisely." The frightened servants exchanged nervous glances, but none dared to defy him. Then the scene shifted to the grand halls of House Sylvester. A subordinate entered, bowing deeply. "Lord Patriarch, a letter has arrived." Sylvester broke the seal, scanned its contents, and a thin smile curved his lips. "So, even the imperial household has turned its back on House Marbus." "As expected." The subordinate nodded. "Of course, my lord. Aside from their ancestors, they have nothing. No gold, no army. Their resources are laughable." Sylvester's smirk grew colder. "Indeed. Wealth and manpower, that is true power. And next month, when the War of Noble Houses begins, we will drag House Marbus to its knees. Are you prepared to play your part?" "Without a doubt, my lord." Sylvester leaned back, confidence radiating from him. "Good. There is no chance of defeat. Not unless a full-fledged necromancer rises within House Marbus, or their founder, Patriarch Wieland von Marbus, claws his way out of the grave. But such things are impossible." His laughter echoed like thunder. "This war has already been written as our victory." The scene cut to the dungeons of House Marbus. Chains rattled as Sir Pullen, broken and imprisoned, shouted through the darkness. "Young master! Forgive your foolish vassal! I beg you!" "I did not realize Karchel's treachery until it was too late. Punish me if you must, even with death." Lan paused, studying him silently. His thoughts sharpened. Pullen was one of the few who stood for me, when no one else dared. I need men like him. Finally, he spoke. "Sir Pullen, take care of yourself. I still have need of you. There is much work ahead." Pullen's eyes widened in disbelief. "My lord, me? A fallen man like me? What use could you possibly have for one such as I?" Lan's voice was steady. "For now, start with this, stand tall. Then meet me in the Patriarch's office. We will speak further there." Tears welled in Pullen's eyes as he bowed deeply. "For this trust, I will be forever grateful. I, Pullen, swear on my life, I shall remain loyal to you until my last breath, my lord." The scene shifted again, this time to the Patriarch's office. Lan stood by the window, the eerie figure of Black Lion Marbus at his side. The Phantom whispered, "So, what is your next move, contractor?" "The choice lies with you." Sir Pullen entered, still shaken. "Forgive me, my lord, but what you are planning, it may be the most dangerous act yet." to make contact with Sylvester while impersonating Karchel himself. It will require a performance beyond belief. Lan raised his hand, whispering an incantation. A ripple of shadow stirred across the room. Before their eyes, a figure materialized, an unholy creation of necromancy. Slowly, the shadow took form until the face of Sir Karchel himself stood before them, lifeless and obedient. Pullen staggered back in horror. What kind of unholy magic is this? His mind raced. Lord Patriarch, standing calmly after binding his uncle into undeath. The rumors were true. He has mastered necromancy completely. He is no ordinary man. He is something far beyond human understanding. A chill passed through him as one final thought struck. If he had been born in the golden age of House Marbus, then perhaps he could have reshaped the world itself. And so, the web of deception began to tighten. Lan, still unsettled by the cruel injustice his family suffered, asks himself why Hughes would commit such acts. Coughing lightly, he admits that controlling Karchel in his undead form might deceive the house's investors for a while, but not forever. After all, an ordinary undead cannot fully replicate handwriting, mannerisms, or personality. But Lan reveals his trump card. With calm confidence, he explains that this particular undead was not made from Karchel's true body. Instead, it was forged from the corpse of a terrifying creature, the doppelganger. This monster is infamous for its ability to perfectly mimic a human's face and, to a certain extent, even their powers. Sir Pullen's eyes widen in disbelief. Amazing, he mutters, realizing just how dangerous this creation is. Lan then recalls the moment when he personally killed the doppelganger, which had taken the form of an innocent young girl. Black Line Marvs, always watching, identifies the creature, a shapeshifter. The doppelganger hunts lone travelers, kills them, and takes their place, sometimes even consuming their friends. Truly fitting prey for necromancy. He then looks at Lan thoughtfully, almost speaking to someone unseen. The son has truly taken after the father, isn't that right, Velen? Meanwhile, Apple didn't fall far from the tree. Well, after all, Leon had indeed made the decision to claim the doppelganger among his ranks. And he yanked her to her feet. Lion grinned as he watched this, saying that it was rather kind of the progenitor to leave behind his most previous minion for his precious descendant. The doppelganger body rose. Lan, unsure whether to feel pride or fear, asks if this should be considered a victory. Black Line Marvs, with a sly smile, replies, of course. But remember, this creature can only take the form of those you've already encountered. If the target's magical power surpasses yours, the doppelganger will fail. Do you accept these limits, contractor? For all your gifts, you are still but an apprentice. He warns Lan further, even if he traps his uncle's soul, it will eventually dissolve, leaving nothing. His advice is blunt: abandon House Marvs for a time, escape the storm, and seek a better path. But Lan refuses. His voice is steady, his conviction unshakable: I cannot abandon my bloodline. If I leave, the people will either be slaughtered or enslaved by Sylvester. If it costs me my life, then so be it, I will gladly die for them. Marv studies him in silence. Inwardly, he wonders, is this blind loyalty to his house? Or something deeper? No matter. There are more pressing concerns. Finally, the doppelganger, now fully twisted into an undead, stands motionless before Lan. Marv nods approvingly. The time has come. Bind this creature, it will serve you well in days ahead. You should know, once, even Velen commanded beings like this. Lan opens his necromancy book, his voice resonant with power. Hear me, soul of the fallen. I, Lan van Marvs, heir of House Marvs, summon you back to the realm of the living. The ritual ignites. Dark energy floods the chamber. The undead stirs, silent, obedient, awaiting its new master. Marv slams his staff loudly against the ground. Enough of this statue act. Crow, wake up. A century has passed, and now a new necromancer has risen. Stop standing like a lifeless monument and show your true form. For a moment, the undead remains still. Then, as if struck by an idea, it begins to shift. Before their eyes, the doppelganger morphs into a perfect replica of Lan himself. With a sly grin, the copycat smirks at Marv's. So, I'm supposed to listen to endless speeches, and from a useless bat, no less. Marv's bristles, wings twitching with anger. Do you want to die again, fool? The copycat only laughs. Die? I'm already dead, stupid bat. He then turns toward the real Lan, staring with unnerving intensity, as if gazing into his own mirror image, a reflection of his death. The scene shifts back to the patriarch's office. Sir Pullen speaks earnestly. If we perfectly recreate Karchel's habits, based on memory, we could use his undead form to trick Sylvester, and kill him. I take full responsibility for this plan, my lord. Lan smiles faintly. That is exactly the answer I was hoping to hear, Sir Pullen. Pullen hesitates, then gathers the courage to ask, my lord, when Sylvester attacks again, he will surely have the full support of the imperial household. Wouldn't it be wiser, safer, to retreat? Why stay here and risk everything? Lan's gaze hardens as he recalls the words of Marcus. It is my duty to protect my house. That is reason enough. Pullen bows deeply. Then I will serve you with all my strength. But may I dare ask, what is the real reason behind your resolve? Lan grows quiet, his voice carrying both honesty and weariness. To be honest, I have asked myself that same question countless times. I have no grand purpose. I only wish to understand what it means to be a true patriarch. Until I find that answer, I will hold this ground. I will stop those who want to strip away our land, our name, and our honor. I will not repeat the mistakes of my father. I will protect whatever remains. Maybe one day I'll understand why I fight. But for now, this is enough. Pullen lowers his head, moved by Lan's sincerity. The scene shifts again, this time to Lan's chambers. The doppelganger, now in Lan's form, lounges casually. Who ever thought House Marv's would fall so low? Contractor, you've got a lot of work ahead of you. Marcus snaps furiously, how dare you? Address him as a my lord. But Lan simply waves it off. It's fine, Marcus. Formalities don't matter much, not even to the founder himself. Marv sighs, exasperated. Even so, contractor, do people often tell you that you're a little slow in social matters? Lan raises an eyebrow. And how would you know? Marv shrugs. Just a guess. Anyway, Crow here was once a familiar of Velan. That makes him part of your inheritance, a loyal servant, an Asani. His ability to take on forms will prove useful. The copycat smirks smugly. Useful, indeed. I'm an expert in collusion, unlike a certain smelly bat who's too busy worshipping his own ego. Marv's roars in anger. There is no bull in me. Keep talking, and I'll throw you back into the abyss. He lunges forward, claws ready to tear off Crow's head. Lan raises a hand, sighing. Enough. Get serious, both of you. Crow, I need your ability. Can you take the form of my uncle Karchel? The doppelganger grins wickedly. That'll be a piece of snake. Marv slaps his forehead. It's piece of cake, not piece of snake. How stupid can you be? There are limits to ignorance. Their argument continues in a mix of mockery and threats, until suddenly, a sharp knock sounds at the door. Lan freezes, his eyes narrowing. Who is it? Lan looks sharply at the door. Who is it? The voice of Sir Pullen comes from the other side. It's me, my lord. An urgent letter has arrived from Sylvester. I thought it best to deliver it immediately. Lan takes the letter, unfolds it, and reads carefully. The message is blunt and merciless. It has been more than a century since House Marv's abandoned its duty as dukes. Now, under the leadership of Count Alan de Sylvester, House Sylvester challenges you to the war of noble houses. If you surrender, the conflict can be avoided and your people will be accepted. But if you refuse, then 1 month from now, our army will march upon your duchy and destroy all that stands in its way. Marvs clicks his tongue. The storm is drawing near. Lan exhales, his tone steady. 1 month, that's all we've been given. Marv scoffs. What's this? Are you frightened now, contractor? Yes, it's little time, but at least we could retreat, survive, and fight another day. Come, let's gather whatever army we can. But Lan shakes his head and smirks faintly. You misunderstand me. I wasn't expressing fear. I was saying that I cannot wait that long. With that, he burns the letter to ash. Marv's eyes widen. You really are insane. Their forces will be in the hundreds, thousands, perhaps. This isn't a petty traitor like your uncle. Are you truly ready to face such a tide? Lan lifts his hand, dark energy crackling in the air. Ready? More than ready.